right. Good morning and welcome back to another edition of Bakersfield Business Partners, our weekly podcast. We are a networking group here in Bakersfield, California. We meet every week on Tuesday mornings, and we are helping our members grow through referrals, but also through education and really through relationships. So we have a great group, and that's due to our great members. So we started a podcast to highlight all our great members, and I'm so proud to have Ani Ismailyan.
Yes.
Did I pronounce that right?
Yes.
Say it for me, say hello, and let us know a little bit about what you do.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ani Ismailyan. I'm a dentist, a local dentist in Bakersfield. We're Smile Studios on Coffee Road, 3612 Coffee Road, Suite A. We've been there for the past 4 years is when we acquired the practice. I'm practicing with my husband and my sister. She newly joined the team. So we're a general dental office. We're not a specialty, so we kind of do a little bit of everything. And a lot of a little bit. So we've become kind of specialized recently in some areas. But yeah, it's a pretty big established practice at this point. We have a lot of very qualified, highly skilled and trained staff. So, our goal is to just provide the best dental experience for the patients. It's not all about the type of work you receive, it's how you experience the dental visit. So that's our focus. A lot of our focus is creating that environment for the average patient who's nervous and doesn't like the dentist to kind of convert and
Who
say,
doesn't like
okay.
their dentist? Come on.
I've probably met 4 people in my life that are like, I love coming to the dentist.
Oh my gosh.
I love my
Who are
cleanings."
these weirdos?
Yeah, exactly. So most of us don't want to. We want to avoid the dental. So our goal in Smile Studios is to kind of change that and change the experience that you'll get. So
I love that.
That's who we are.
I love that. Well, that was a good answer. You gave me a lot to unpack there.
Okay, cool.
Thank you for being here. So you're a
Thank you
dentist,
for having me.
obviously, and your husband's a dentist.
Yes.
So let's go back a little bit. Let's learn a little bit about you guys, maybe more personally. How'd you meet? How'd you kind of decide to be a dentist? Tell me about that.
I have always wanted to be a dentist. I had a
Okay.
very tunnel vision. My dad is a dentist, so I was
Okay.
exposed to the profession from like way early on. And what I liked about it is his interactions with the patients.
So
Not the work, but like
your father's a dentist.
Yeah.
Your sister's a dentist.
yeah.
Who in the family is not
Not
a
a-
dentist? Yeah, maybe
My
that's
mom. My
oh,
mom
okay.
is not a dentist.
Okay, all right.
She married into the family.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, he would just sit with his patients and make them comfortable and take the pain away and treat the stuff that was bothering the patient. And then he would teach them how to take care of it better for later. And that interaction, general interaction with his patients, just like really grabbed my attention. But it wasn't so much about what he was exactly doing in the mouth. It was more the relationships that he was
The whole
having.
interaction.
Interaction.
Yeah.
So,
How
yeah,
old do you think you were when you like really knew? I mean, how young?
like high school.
Okay.
Yeah, so not when I was a toddler, obviously, but like
Yeah.
in high school when I actually
Your,
understood
your
and
dad didn't buy you like little dental
processed.
tools like for your Christmas,
No,
like when you're
my dad wasn't very supportive of my decision to become a
Oh,
dentist. He was
interesting.
very cautious. So when I was in college and actively pursuing this pre-dental career in college, we had a conversation, a very serious one, and he was like, "Look, are you sure you want to go
He
into
gave you the
this?"
talk, the dentist
The
talk.
dentist talk.
Yeah.
It's like he was cautious because he wanted to make sure that I understand what it takes to be
Yeah.
a dentist. And yeah, he told me all the stressful aspects of the job, and then I told him that I'm okay with it, and I just moved forward from there. And yeah, so I've known for a long time, and I just worked very hard, geared towards applying to dental school, which was 2012 is when I got into dental school. And Arby, my husband, was already a student in that dental school that I got accepted
Okay.
to.
Very cool.
So yeah, he was a second year and I was a first year. Arizona, Glendale, Arizona.
Okay.
So I moved to Glendale, and I am Armenian. My nationality is Armenian, and we're very interesting as a group of people because when you move away from like the center where all the Armenians live
Yeah.
around, it becomes very important to stay connected to the Armenian culture
Community? Yeah.
community. And Glendale, Arizona was gonna be like a culture shock for me because I've
Okay.
always lived and experienced
Where
Armenianness.
were you before? Where have you lived?
Glendale, Burbank, like the LA
Okay.
communities where
So is there a
Armenians are.
pretty big Armenian community
Huge.
down in Burbank?
hmm
Okay.
That's where they all just kind of
Is that where you were born?
rooted. No, no, I've been to a lot of places in my life. I was born in Armenia, which is um, tiny, tiny country in the middle of all the chaos that's happening right now,
Right. In the
currently.
Middle East, yeah.
Yeah, 1989. I was born in 1989, and that was right before the collapse of the Soviet Union happened. And when it did happen, I grew up in very economically poor conditions in the country, but yeah, totally different world where I grew up in. And then
Yeah.
and then my that's when people slowly started to immigrate out of Armenia,
hmm
including my aunt, who ended up here in LA in 1992, I think, or 1993. So I was a kid. I didn't know her that well, but I knew that we had an aunt in America. And like 13 years later, somehow we were able to get a visa approved for the entire family of mine to move here.
Wow.
So it was very abrupt. I had no idea. We didn't know this was going to happen. So we're just living our lives, and then all of a sudden we get approved, and my aunt,
Time to move.
time to move. Like, so yeah, it was. And I was excited. I was a kid. I'm like, yay, let's go to America.
Yeah, let's travel.
Let's
Yeah.
go. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And then, but I didn't realize, like, yeah, it was a huge move because I was a teenager. I was just going through those important years, and now you're uprooted and put into this totally different environment. And it was kind of like there's no cliff notes for it. You just have to get in it.
Yeah, just dive in.
Yeah.
Sink or swim.
Yeah. And I had to learn very, very fast. But what I don't know if this is going off on too much tangents, but I think I did okay because I had a clear like understanding and vision of why we're moving. You know,
Mm.
like my parents made sure that we understand why we're making this big move, leaving the friends behind, leaving the family behind, and just like this is uncomfortable. Why? Because we like I knew that I could do something here. I could become someone. I could get a career that could be a driving force towards something else. So that was always in the back of my head. Like we were talking about, I'm a responsible person. So I
hmm
took that information and I just went with it. I focused on it.
I
Yeah.
love that. Listen, I think
Yeah.
that's a very interesting story, the immigrant story.
Yeah.
Coming here
It's
to.
common, right, with immigrants to be that way, to be
Yeah,
that focused.
I guess I kind of take for granted my childhood, my upbringing.
hmm
It wasn't easy, but it certainly wasn't
Yeah.
in a different country, affected
hmm
by, the collapse of another,
Yeah.
another system. So, wow. Anyhow, thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that.
Yeah.
So, you go to
So,
college, you're
yeah.
studying, and you're trying to get good grades, and there's this pesky guy named Arby. He won't leave you alone. Tell me about that.
Oh my God, that's also a funny story because when we moved to Glendale, he was actually like a block away from my family. But
Okay.
we never met each other until years later. Like we were always kind of synced up in life
Yeah.
and went to the same schools, lived in very similar neighborhoods, but we were very different kids.
Okay.
He was the cool kid and I was like the nerd focused
No.
school kid. Yeah, that's the truth. So we could have never met even if we wanted to. And then when it was time for, taking things more seriously like professional school, that's when we kind of calibrated ourselves and got on the same level because he was also serious about school then.
Got it.
Yeah, and then we met and we were like, "Oh my God, you're Armenian. I'm Armenian. We're in Glendale, Arizona. Like we have to be friends." But then yeah, more than friends.
We got it. No, that's great. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So, you graduated college, and did you start practicing initially here in Bakersfield, or were you down in LA?
No, we never went to
Oh, you
LA.
came right here.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So we heard about Bakersfield when we were in school, in dental school.
Yeah.
We knew that it's really chilly here.
I know it's cold.
We
Sorry.
knew that there was a lot more opportunity here. The living quality of life is a lot better here because LA was a lot, especially back then. Like we graduated 2016 is when we
Oh, wow.
graduated.
Yeah.
So it was competitive. It was like very difficult to get two starting dentists, you know what I
Mm.
mean? And the house price is a lot. So we were like, okay, let's just get started in Bakersfield so we can actually buy a house and have a normal life. And then, 2, 3 years later, we'll go back to LA. And yeah, that was 7 years ago. Yeah.
Still here. You have
Yeah.
your own practice. How
We love
many
it.
how many employees do you have?
I want to say 13.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And you bought the business, I think, from an existing dentist, or there was someone there before,
Yeah.
right?
So there was an
Okay.
owner dentist, but
Okay.
we were the associate dentists, which
Got
means
it.
we were working there
Okay.
without the owner practicing.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So we just saw a lot of potential in the place.
Well, you've done a great job. I mean, you made so many changes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, tell me a little bit about like maybe what sets you apart from other dentists, right? Like you really talked about the experience,
Mm-hmm.
the whole experience, how people feel.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's about the treatment that they get, but you said it's
Mm-hmm.
actually more so about the experience they're having. And
Yeah.
I know right when you walk in the front door, the lobby's different. It's a different feel.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah. We actually brought home to the dental office because our um, Brenda, you guys all know
We
Brenda.
love Brenda. Yeah.
Yes, she is our partner. She's we're the trio, okay, in Smile Studio. So we made it happen together, and she's the brains behind how it feels. She has an amazing taste in interior design, and she understands and can connect how people feel with tangible things like how it smells, or how it looks, or how it
Mm.
feels, and all
Hmm.
those things. It's her passion. And through her, I discovered it's also my passion because it's like it's incredibly fun and rewarding and so creative. So what we do is the design of the office, the smells, the scents and everything,
Hmm.
it has to feel like home. The lighting, like she puts lamps in places that you might
So,
not even
so
consider.
what is it? When I go to another dental office, there is that smell, and I don't.
Yeah,
What is
it's
that?
dental materials, I think. It's just some of the medication that is probably stored in the wrong place because
Okay.
that's what happened that's that was a condition in Smile Studios before we
It
got a hold of
it
it.
kind of like instantly raises your blood
Yeah,
pressure.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
sitting in the waiting room and you hear the drilling and it has that smell and you're like,
Yeah,
ooh,
I know.
yeah.
It's that smell. It's the dental office smell because there's so much material that
Hmm.
is necessary for treatment. But just the simple idea of, hey, let's stash these away. Let's tuck them away from. And we're lucky we have a very big office, so there's a lot of space to play with. And we actually took advantage of that and we put all the smelly stuff away and yeah, created a much more comfortable atmosphere. And the colors of the walls, everything was very well thought out. So patients can feel at ease because when they're at ease, then we're at ease and the entire thing is better and you have a lifelong patient because they just don't see going anywhere else. Like when you find your dentist, you wanna, if you feel good, you wanna stay.
Yeah,
So that's our goal.
definitely.
Yeah.
So tell me more about your office. You guys take all patients? I know you said you kind of do generally everything, kind of a little bit of everything, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe elaborate on that.
Sure. Yeah, we are a family dental office. So if you
Okay.
call and you want to bring your kids, we do have an age limit. Like we like to see and treat 10 and over,
Okay.
but we
Why 10? What happens with the mouth at 10, or is that just
not
kind of like a behavior thing with kids? Or-
mostly behavior thing, like they're
Okay.
more mature at that age. We do see younger kids. I have a lot of patients who are 5, 6, 7. But if there's extensive treatment that needs to be done, I might refer to the pediatric
I
dentist.
see.
Yeah,
Okay.
because there's a lot that goes into working on kids, like the sizes of the instruments, the types of
Mm,
the instruments and all that stuff to make things go fast. Because with kids, you want to do it very fast.
I
Their
see.
attention span is so low.
Right.
So if I feel like my scope of materials in the office is going to hold us back,
Mm,
then I for sure just refer out. But
got
we
it.
see them, we diagnose things, we do cleanings, we do x-rays, we do oral hygiene instructions and all those things that are important as well.
Okay.
But actual treatment and operations, we might refer them out.
So family dental, 10 and
Hmm.
up, really, and who else?
We see everyone, like if you come in and you need a new dentist to check everything out. We do comprehensive diagnosing of everything. Restorative, which means if If you have broken teeth, we fix the broken teeth. If you have missing teeth, we fix the missing teeth issues. If you have pain because your tooth is infected, we do root canals, which is you clean the inside of the tooth so the nerve is out and you no longer feel it, but you still
Ooh,
keep the tooth in your mouth.
ooh. It just sounds
Fun,
painful. Yeah.
fun. So we do that. We do cosmetic work, which is when the patient comes in and they smile and there's a lot going on in the front and they're looking for a much enhanced, elevated look.
Sure.
So a wide range of things. We're adding, we're definitely adding implants in the very near future, which are the replacement options.
Hmm.
Um, if you're missing a tooth, you can just pop an implant in there and you got a tooth for the rest of your life.
Just pop it in. It's so
Pop it in,
easy.
it's easy.
So before implants, what were people doing? Like bridges, spacers? Like what was
So
the treatment before that?
the bridge is still a treatment. Like
Okay.
there's some cases where the implant is not an option. So the bridge is if you have good teeth around the missing area and you use those teeth to anchor a fake tooth, pretty
Okay.
much.
Yep.
It's custom made. The lab makes it for you. It's very strong material, very durable, long lasting.
Hmm.
So it's probably other than the implant, the other best choice because it's a permanent choice. And then you got the partial dentures, the full dentures, those things that are removable that come in and out. And we try to stay away from those kinds of treatments because patients are never happy with those.
So tell me why. I was just going to say I
Yeah.
have a lot of senior patients.
Yeah.
Dentures is a big thing for them.
Hmm.
I should say dentures and or implants, right? And I mean,
They're very
maybe,
different. The
yeah,
denture,
give me a rundown.
yeah. So the denture is something that just sits on your gums.
Right.
And if there's no support in the bone, let's say you're missing all of your teeth. So you need a full denture, is what we call a full denture, and you use your anatomy and the shape of your bone and all that stuff to kind of place that uh, acrylic on your gums and hope that it stays.
Okay.
But as you can see, it seldom does, and that's why patients are unhappy because first of all, it's a huge bulky thing that's in your
Hmm.
mouth. Anything extra, anything foreign in the mouth can feel like a big deal. So if you add that entire denture in there, it takes a huge adjustment period. And then after that, they get, let's say, adjusted, and it's like it's an old pair of shoes. I know how it feels. I like it. I have it. Over the years of wearing that denture, it stops fitting because you lose more bone, you lose more gum tissue, your gums get flappier and all those things. Your body's always changing. And so dentures are just always a nuisance. So they're never happy. Or you just have to put a lot of glue in it and stick it up on your gums. And it, the
So
only good thing about it is you look like you have teeth.
it sounds like it's not a very good long-term solution.
No.
Like you put it in and it may work after you get initially adjusted to it, but
Right.
it sounds like then your mouth starts changing.
Yeah,
and
you have to change it again. And if you get a whole new pair of dentures, then you have to get used to it again. It can hurt.
So
know.
then maybe contrast that to the implant, right? Let's
Yes.
say I've got a few teeth and I'm going to do something with implants. Like,
Yes.
is it better long term, the bone and the gums?
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, let's start with, let's say you're a patient who has no teeth at all and you've been wearing full dentures for several years,
Okay.
but now you want to make it more stable and long lasting, you go get implants. And it's the more implants, the better. But there's a minimum number of implants that you need to kind of anchor that denture in. So it's
Okay.
like a snap, what we call is an all on four dentures or all on two, all on six. Those numbers just represent how many implants you have in the mouth. And you have parts that hook onto the implants. So the denture has little parts that just snaps into those parts of the implant and
Okay.
it hooks, and you no longer drop down. If, let's say, you bite a little bit too hard, the denture stays in. It doesn't flap out. So
Okay. Got
that's
it.
but then if you have teeth and you're missing several others, then you replace those several others with implants. That's a very, very long lasting, good, permanent, ideal treatment if you have good bone.
So when we say long lasting, I mean, nothing's forever, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 years, 20
It could
years.
be forever. I mean, implants are probably some of the more predictable options because if you have good oral hygiene, which means you brush and floss,
It's a big if.
you
We're in Bakersfield, so
you visit your dentist regularly, you take x-rays, you monitor how the implant is doing in the bone environment. If you do those things, you maintain the implant. Then what is an implant? It's not a natural tooth. You can never get cavities on your implant. So if you're taking care of that little implant, it can serve you for the rest of your life.
Wow.
Yeah. With natural teeth, what the less predictable aspect of it is that you can get cavities.
Mm.
It's a natural tooth. So yeah, you could definitely get implants and serve the rest of your life with them. You just have to
Okay.
take care of
Very
them,
cool.
like cars.
What's an ideal customer for Smile Studios? Is it the family looking for a long-term dentist, or is it who is it?
That's a good question. The ideal customer is someone who is eager to take care of their oral health, okay? Which means the person comes in and they understand what it takes to take care of their oral health because it does take maintenance, it does take constant check-ins and x-rays and cleanings. And when we get a patient who cares like that, then we get the best results with them because the work we do on those patients actually looks good and it lasts a long time. And that's what we love. We Our ideal patients also include just personality types, you know, those happy. We
Uh,
have a lot of good
no,
patients.
no cranky patients at Smile
Yeah, no
Studios,
one likes
please.
cranky
Yeah.
patients. We understand. I mean, we not cranky. I wouldn't say cranky, but I would say a lot of nervous patients. We get a lot of those, but those are my favorite also. Like I like seeing a patient who's been previously um, hurt by the dentist or just very anxious about the dentist because I know what we can offer and I'm excited and confident. I go in there, I try to make it better for them because we see results where patients like literally go from clenched fists to just like relaxed and they're enjoying it and they're humming a song and they're so happy and smiley and thankful. And that's an ideal case for us because
Awesome.
that's our goal, you know?
Yeah. You must have like the laughing gas just like circulating through the office. Is that
Oh
what it
my
is?
gosh, no, but
No, it's
oh,
not.
no, 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 but that's a good idea.
Just a little bit. Just put it in the air system.
That's funny.
Okay, so one thing I ask everyone is kind of like what's a pointer or what's a tip that
Mhm.
you could give to your clients? Or another way to say it is like what are some of the common mistakes maybe you see people making? So if there was like general advice or good points that you could give out about dentistry, what would you
About
say?
dentistry, don't be afraid of the dentist, because the fear that a lot of people have keep them away from the dentist.
Hmm.
And what that does is add to existing issues, make the issues bigger. And if those issues are bigger, then they're more expensive to treat,
Hmm.
or it's too late to treat. So I think the biggest pointer is get over the fear because it's not the type of dentistry that they're probably thinking about. In the past, I understand it was a different industry, different abilities to make the patient comfortable. But now, today, dentistry has evolved and changed so much. And if they come to us, especially, or most of the dentists, you know, that care about patient centric care, it's going to be very, very different, a lot more comfortable, a lot more relaxed for the patient.
Do you think that that maybe sets you apart from some of your competition? Maybe like an older, more established dentist?
Right. So I would think so because we put a lot of focus and attention on
Hmm.
that. So I'm not sure all the dentists would care and put the detail that we do
Hmm.
in going above and beyond for the patient to like
Yeah.
walk out happy and more relaxed. Yeah. So yeah,
That's very
I'm
cool.
proud of that.
No, you should be.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, that's I guess as a patient, that's what we want to hear. Like, I
Mhm.
love that you're talking more about the experience, and
Yeah.
obviously the treatment's important, but the
Yes.
overall experience is really what I think matters,
Yeah.
and it's what keeps people coming in or coming back, or
Yeah.
they
Exactly.
at least feel comfortable to tell you, "Hey, I think maybe this is going on."
Well, I think the treatment is important and my sister also
Hmm.
both she, my husband and I obviously graduated from the same dental school and that dental school was different from pretty much I would say all the other dental schools in that their main focus was also to um, educate and train for general dentistry, the clinical aspect. So we actually got to experience so much more dentistry as students compared to a lot of prestigious or famous dental schools let's say, that you can compare it to. And the reason I know it is because I've talked to a lot of people from different
Sure.
schools,
Other
and we
dentists, yeah.
compare and contrast, and we're like, you did how many of that in dental school? Oh, I did like 10 times,
Oh,
15 times
wow.
of that, because our school just focused on where they're located or what's around them, what kind of resources they put into making sure that the student is utilizing their time to become well skilled, like their hand skills, for example. We worked hard on that. And patient care, I saw so many patients in my last 2 years of going to dental school that I was practically practicing dentistry while in
Wow.
dental school.
Wow.
So that put us ahead of the game, I would say, because then you graduate dental school and you're not scared or nervous to actually work on patients.
Hmm.
So then you have time and opportunity to focus on other parts of dentistry. Because when you're confident about your work, because you've been trained so well, then you can translate that comfort to the patient, right? So, yeah.
Very cool.
So the work is important too, for sure. The treatments are important, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. What do you think the best part about your job is?
The best part is that the results that you see, like the immediate results, that's the best part. And that could go anywhere from patient comes in with excruciating pain because the tooth is
Hmm.
a hot tooth,
Something's going on.
and that day you treat the patient and you call the next day and they're like, oh my god, I'm so much better. Like, that's one of my favorite parts of the job. Another really good part is when a patient doesn't even know what can be done for them and their smile because they've never even considered it, or they have no idea of what materials are out there.
Hmm.
And that's more for like the aesthetic stuff. Like if they have a smile that they're not proud of, or they just never smile, they don't know why, they just never smile. And I see a lot of these patients when I'm doing their exam, their first time exam, and I'm like, bite down all the way and give me a smile, like a natural smile. You I can't tell you how many times people just don't know how to do that. They literally don't know what I mean when I say, give me a smile with your teeth. And it looks awkward because they're like, uh-huh. And I'm
Yeah.
like, so when I ask, and they always open up. They're like, I never smile. Like for years, I've never smiled in the pictures. My
Mm.
wife doesn't like that I don't smile. My husband doesn't like that I don't smile. And then when I ask, why don't you smile? That's when the whole Pandora's box opens. It's
Sure.
like, I have
Sure.
this thing and that thing, this problem, this problem. And then when we actually show them what can be done and they move forward with the treatment, the day those treatments are delivered and they open and smile and they have the mirror in front of them, and like that reaction is also my favorite part.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's got to be priceless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
A whole new smile.
Because you can change lives, as a dentist.
Sure.
So I love that we can do that. Yeah, I
That's a
love
great
that.
answer. One thing you said made me think, you said some of the patients don't know what's available, like what
Mm-hmm.
options or treatments are even available.
Mm-hmm.
Has a lot changed in the last, 5, 10 years in terms of like what dentists are offering to their
A
clients?
lot. It's always changing at such a fast pace
Hmm.
because crowns and veneers have always been an option, right? Not always, but they've been an option for many, many years. So
Okay.
you see people that have ceramic crowns on their teeth. So when they smile, it looks um, same color, same shape. Everything is done by the lab, let's say. But what's changed over the years is how they make those materials and what kind of aesthetic results you can get with those, because it's constantly evolving. Even if it's not porcelain and it's something like zirconium metal, they're coming out with aesthetic zirconium metal, for example. And these things just enhance and make things look better. So the dental work that you do, the goal is to make it look natural, because over the years, I think it's becoming clear that fake look doesn't
Mm,
look good, and
yeah.
people are striving more towards natural because, that's just how the trend is. And dentistry offers better, way crazier materials like that. The technology is always changing, where that's just, I think we haven't seen anything yet, but we're starting to realize that, oh my gosh, these machines and computers can do so
Yeah.
much work for
Yeah.
us. And that's what we're also kind of tapping into, trying to um, increase the technology that we offer, because it does make things flow faster and better and cleaner, more accurate. So yeah, it's before 5 years ago. I don't know exactly how long ago this technology was available, but I'm sure 10 years ago it wasn't, when you could like scan the mouth with a scanner and then it could get every single micro detail in your mouth and transfer that information to the laboratory, and the laboratory can get that information, print your model out with a printer and work on that printed model. That's something that we do now in our office. So the patient has less material in their mouth, less gooey
Mm-hmm.
things for the
Mm-hmm.
impressions, and they just get a little song that scans their mouth, and
Yeah.
that's it. It takes a minute and a half versus, let's say, 7 minutes. So there you go. That's a ton of time saved.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Well, anything else you want to share about your practice or about yourself before we kind of switch gears to
hmm
BNI?
Um, our practice, we are so passionate about what we do, I think, as a team. Um,
As a family?
as a family, honestly, I think that's another thing that probably sets us
I think
apart.
it's important.
You know,
Yeah.
it's an important
I think it's cool.
distinction because the family cares. And I mean, we work so well together as a family to
You and your
have a
sister
common.
aren't having like cat fights in the office
Absolutely
or
not. Not
okay.
no, not so far.
Okay.
No, it's the best. We have a really good relationship. It's fun to work with her, and she's having a lot of fun with us. And we have a common goal, and it's easy to communicate the goal to one another because we're family, you know? We're calibrated, so to say. We're from the same school, from the same program. We know what our expectations are. So Smile Studios is cohesive, I would say. Like, it's a cohesive environment where from the moment you step in, we do a lot of staff training all the time about what to say, how to say things to make patients feel at ease, pretty much. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I'm repeating myself, but that's kind of what we're geared towards. Because there's 13 people, right, at the office, and every person has a role in the office, and the patients usually see the majority of those staff members in one visit. So if one thing is kind of off or is glitchy, then it's a domino effect, and
Mm.
then the patient can have a bad experience. And it might not have anything to do with the dentist or the work or the treatment or how much it hurt or not. But there's just so many different elements in the dental office that need to go right. So that's what we're, I think, different from. And it's important that Smile Studios is known as that cohesive experience, because it's what we strive for. You know, it's not perfect, but that's what we strive for. And we get really good results and feedback. So yeah, I love that about, and it makes us want to do more all the time and achieve greater things like that.
Well, that's awesome. Well, your business sounds like it's awesome. Like you love it.
Thank you.
Like you're so
Yeah.
focused on it.
hmm
So maybe let's shift gears here. Tell me why you thought it would be good for you as a business owner to join a group like Bakersfield Business Partners and BNI.
Okay, so I heard about BNI from Marcy and you. Marcy had told us a couple times before, because we work next door to each other. So
Right.
we seen each other. We talked, and she would always say, "You guys would really like fit in. You'd benefit from it, and it's just a good place. You'll meet a lot of people that you might benefit from. You know, with business networking and all that stuff." So but we were never ready, I feel like, because we were still so focused and busy with other things that it didn't really have, we didn't have room in our brain to process BNI.
I get it.
And then much later, when you and Marcy joined us to add the team on some health benefits and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, that's when we got more information, because we actually talked a little bit more about what it is. And I think we decided to join because it was exciting. Like, it sounded exciting. We wanted to meet more people
Yeah.
because we were at that stage in life that I think when we talked earlier, we were so focused in Bakersfield on just like the business and then the kids, the family. We were just so focused on those things, that the idea of meeting new people and getting involved in the community, and it was time. Like it was time
Yeah.
to branch out. So BNI seemed like a really good option to do that.
Well, good, good.
Yeah.
Can you tell me or can you quantify, like, has it helped your business grow?
I I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
because um, quantify, I don't know if I can quantify it, but it's how has it helped me grow? Because now when I feel like I am actually part of this group and I get people from that group that have trust in us and come and get treatment done with us and then have good feedback, that's made us grow kind of in uh, not just obviously like financially we get business from people, but it makes you grow internally, like your outlook on the business and what it because when you get feedback from people like our BNI people, it's very, very high
Maybe
feedback.
like
It's
validation.
validation.
Yeah,
It's something like when you know the person and that person approves and is happy with what you do, that makes you want to do more and better
sure.
versus just, the patient that you get during the day and you don't know who they are and where they're from. That's different, but you grow more when people that you know and care about approve and validate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's we all want to grow and get better, but we have to make money, right, to make a living.
Right.
And so ultimately, yeah, I mean, it's those two aspects. You know,
Yeah.
financially, we all want to benefit from using each other's services.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think yes, for sure. And we have a lot of patients, so it's really hard to kind of quantify how many we've gotten from BNI, but I want
yeah.
to say we have because then it's
Yeah.
not just the actual BNI people, it's their
It's starting to
friends and
branch out
family,
now. Yeah.
I'm
Good.
sure it's branching out, and I should probably be better about asking everyone, like, how did you hear about us?
Yeah, that's okay.
If they say BNI, I can like put a check mark on there and
Yeah.
count and see, but no, I don't even need to do that because we are seeing, yeah, I guess you're right. We are seeing different um, patient base maybe slowly cultivating, and
Mhm.
it could very well be from BNI.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, look, as a business owner, our time is very valuable. It's very
Yes.
important as a mother, as a married wife, a family person.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be very selective in how we spend our time. And each member in our networking group, we choose to meet every Tuesday morning for about an
Mm-hmm.
hour and a half. And it's a time commitment. It's something that's just in our calendar, and we commit to going there every
Mm-hmm.
week. However, by doing that, we know it is proven that our businesses are going to grow.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to benefit us financially, but also just in terms of development.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to help develop the business, develop our skills, our leadership skills, our knowledge.
I agree.
So
Yeah. I
anyhow,
mean, what my husband and I always say, people who are serious, who are not serious about their business would not be at a meeting at 7 a.m. every
there you
Tuesday.
go. That should be our
So,
our tagline right
right,
there. If
right.
you're serious about your business, it's
Yeah,
yeah, you'll be up at 7 a.m.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, I love it.
It kind of weeds out the people who
Yeah.
aren't serious.
Right. And that's why I have so much confidence in the business owners in the group because I'm like, wow, I can just comfortably go to this person because of all that same mentality. Like they're here every Tuesday. They
Right.
care. If they care, they do good business.
Mm,
They take care of their clients or patients,
they're
what have
people,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. So then that's invaluable, like to actually know people like that you can go to. And then to offer that to other people, especially to offer dentistry, I feel like, because going back, dentistry is just such a bad rep. It's got such a bad rep that people are trying like to avoid it at all costs. Or if you need to go to the dentist, how do you pick one if you don't have one? How do you trust one? So I think BNI has been great for me because I feel like I've earned and proven to trust, you know, to
Yeah.
trust the dentist.
Good.
Yeah, and the education part is great. I love BNI because like we learn a lot. I've learned a lot about different businesses, and I didn't know I needed that, but it's great.
Well, Ani, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for joining us. You're a great member. We're so happy to have you in the group,
I'm happy to
and
be part of it. Thank you.
Smile Studios is wonderful. So you're
Thanks,
doing a good
Duncan.
job.
Thank you.
So if you'd love to join our group, we meet every Tuesday morning at 7:30. I think we have like 26, 27, 28 people. We show up every Tuesday morning. There's a light breakfast. And really, we just kind of educate our members on kind of what we talked about today, how our businesses are unique and what sets us apart from our competition and what we do better and what's going on in the industry. And by showing up every week, you build relationships and you become more knowledgeable. And then when you're out talking to your family and friends, it's very easy to refer someone to Smile Studios or to their real
Mhm.
estate agent or whoever it is.
Mhm.
So thanks for joining us. Come visit us at BNI. And until then, we'll talk at you next time.
Thank you.